Hello everybody, in this video we are going to continue our conversation about how to solve quadratic equations, but before we do, we need to talk about the special quadratic functions that exist. So with that being said, we're going to look at these examples right here. We're used to having our quadratic functions have 3 terms, and then we take those 3 terms and turn them into 4 terms, and then we're allowed to do factoring by grouping. So if you look at this one right here, you're going to notice that we don't have 3 terms, we have 2 terms. So what I'm going to ask you to do is there's an actual understood 0 in the middle of this problem. So before we get started, I do want to point out that the 4 is our a value because it has an m squared. So your a always has a variable squared attached to it. And then if you look at your 25 doesn't have a variable, so that's automatically the C. So what that means is that we're missing our B value. So I'm going to ask you to rewrite this with a 0, which is our placeholder B, will go in the middle. So when we do that, it's going to be 4m squared plus 0m minus 25. So we can put a 0 in or we can leave it off. But we need that third term to help guide us and to see what we're looking for. So when we plug in that 0, we're going to go through the steps like we normally do. This is A, this is B, this is C. So that means I'm going to multiply A and C. So we're going to say A times C, which is 4 times 25, which is 100. All right, I'm going to remind you what we're looking for. We're looking for 2 numbers that if you subtract them would give you 0. So we're looking for 2 numbers that when we subtract them give us 0. So I'm going to put a plus 0m right here in the middle just to use it as a guide. So we're going to take that 100 and we're going to list all the factors of 100. I'm going to use this space on the side. All right, we know 2 times 50, no 3, 4 and 25, 5 and 20, no 6, no 7, no 8, no 9, and then 10 and 10. So the good thing about this is that we know that in order for 2 numbers to subtract and give a 0, they have to be the same number. They have to be the same number but different signs. So if you look through this list, the only numbers that you can subtract to give you 0 would be 100 and 100. Now because we're subtracting, one needs to be positive, the other one needs to be negative. So I'm going to say plus 10m minus 10m. And we're going to expand. Now I know that sometimes when we have a 0, we feel some kind of way about working with 0, but don't. 0 is just any other number. Like that. Okay. So now we have 4 terms. We can now factor by grouping. So I'm going to run through this one kind of quickly. So notice that I have 4 and 10. The biggest number that divides into 4 and 10 is 2. They both have m, so I'm going to take 1. And remember, to divide the numbers, subtract the exponents. 4 divided by 2 is 2m. 10 divided by 2, 5. No m, because 1 minus 1 is 0. All right, bring down the negative in the front. The biggest number that divides into 10 and 25 is going to be 5. They both don't have m, so we're just dividing by negative 5. So negative 10 divided by negative 5 is a 2. Bring down the m. Negative 25 divided by negative 5 is a positive 5. No m. We can see we've done it correctly because we have this. So let's write it down once. Cross it out, and then whatever's left over gets put in the second one. The only reason it's special there's two things that make it special. Number one, we had to put the 0 in the middle. Number two, notice that these are almost the same. That's a 2n plus 5, and this is a 2n minus 5. So that's the only way we get that 0 in the middle, if it's almost the same, but we have a positive and a negative. Okay. All right, so I'm going to help you set up the second problem here, and then give you a chance to work it out. So once again, 16 and 49 are perfect squares, so that lets us know there should be a 0 in the middle here. So we're going to say 16y squared plus 0y minus 49. So we can say this is A because it has the y squared, B because it has the y, and C because it's our constant. And so we know that we're going to multiply 16 and 49. Now I know this is going to be a big number, but we can do it. So A times C is 16 and 49. So if you take 16 times 49, we're going to get this big number, 784. And we're looking for numbers that subtract to be 0. So a positive 0y. Now keep in mind what happened over here. If we're looking for something to be 0, it has to be the same number, but opposite signs. So make your list and find the one that's on there twice. So I'm going to pause for a second, make my list, and show you what I have. All right, so as you can see, I went ahead and created my list, and I did find two numbers that match. So here's the thing. One of the things that I want to point out is there's actually an easier way to do these ones. Because we know we're looking for a 0, we know we're looking for a number times itself. So anytime you see something like that, then I highly recommend you taking the square root of the number that you're looking for. So if we would have done that for 100, if you're looking for a 0, you can take the square root of 100 and notice that it's 10. Because we know that 10 times 10 would give us 100, which means 10 minus 10 would give us the 0 that we're looking for. So if we have that big number, but we're still looking for a 0, I could have done the same thing. Take the square root of 784, and notice it gives me 28. I know that 28 times 28 gives me 784, but I also know, let me move this up, that 28 minus 28 would give me the 0 I'm looking for. So this is kind of like a shortcut. If you're looking for a 0, then all you have to do is take the square root of that. All right, so now that we know that we can take the square root and find the number that we're looking for, we're going to take 28. Now remember, we're subtracting these numbers, so one needs to be positive, the other one needs to be negative. So we're going to say a positive 28y and a minus 28y would give us a 0y in the middle. So I'm actually going to pause it right here. I'm going to let you finish this one up using the same method we did here. So expand this from 3 to 4 and then factor by grouping. All right. I hope that this has helped, and I'll see you guys in the next video.